Ukraine's battlefield air defenders say a British-designed invention assembled at speed is doing far more than anyone initially expected. The Raven system, an improvised but increasingly mature platform that launches ASRAAM interceptors from a military truck, was conceived as a stopgap to counter swarming drones. On the ground, crews now credit it with defeating not only reconnaissance and strike UAVs, but also multiple Russian cruise and guided missiles. The claim matters because it suggests a rapid, low-footprint solution can contest threats traditionally reserved for higher-tier systems, expanding the menu of tools available to a military fighting through daily salvos of low-flying munitions. According to Ukraine's Air Command, West, Raven has brought down a mix of targets, including several Kh-59 guided missiles and at least one Kh-101 cruise missile, in addition to more than 20 drones since its debut in the spring of 2023. The timeline tracks with a first reported cruise missile interception in November of that year near a regional hub, when a Raven crew, authorized at the last moment to engage, executed a short sensor-to-shooter chain and scored a hit within seconds. For a system assembled in roughly 4 months from British stocks, ASRAAM missiles repurposed into vertical launch canisters on a Supacat HMT series truck, the performance is notable, particularly in the ruthless environment of Ukraine's skies where low-altitude, terrain-masked profiles are the norm. What makes Raven interesting is not just the hardware marriage of an air-to-air missile with a ground launcher, but the doctrinal implications. Short-range air defense, once a neglected niche, is now the front line of modern air denial. Russian planners routinely attempt to saturate defenses with a mixed package of cruise missiles, glide bombs, and loitering munitions. Systems like NASAMS and Patriot cannot be everywhere at once, nor should they waste costly interceptors on quadcopters or small cruise missiles flying at treetop height. Raven is a counter to that dilemma, a mobile, quickly deployable shooter that occupies the space between man-portable systems and medium-range batteries, reducing the pressure on scarce strategic assets and complicating the attacker's calculus. ASRAAM's suitability for this role is partly technical and partly opportunistic. The missile's high agility, infrared seeker, and speed, approaching Mach 3, are well matched to fleeting targets. The warhead is modest by surface-to-air standards but adequate for small aircraft and missiles, especially with a clean endgame geometry. Ground launching inevitably reduces kinematic reach compared with a fast jet shot, and estimates in Ukrainian service suggest ranges on the order of 15 kilometers. That ceiling imposes tactical discipline. Raven crews must be sighted forward, cued effectively, and ready to fire with little warning. The payoff is a short kill chain that can punish low-level intruders ducking under the umbrella of larger systems. Combat anecdotes hint at growing ambition. Ukrainian operators describe at least one attempted engagement of a Russian Su-34 conducting glide bomb attacks, an inherently risky profile for the aircraft when a capable short-range system is nearby. The outcome of that specific event is unconfirmed, but crews observed a subsequent lull in hostile aviation in the area. Whether or not the jet was damaged, the episode speaks to an intangible yet vital effect, forcing adversary pilots and planners to adapt. When a theater fills with unpredictable SHORAD threats, the mental map changes. Routes are altered, standoff ranges increase, and the tempo slows, not always measurable on a dashboard, but visible in how the enemy behaves. Performance figures shared by Ukrainian sources suggest Raven batteries have fired hundreds of missiles with a respectable success rate against presented targets. Numbers in wartime are rarely clean, and both sides curate narratives. Still, the qualitative trend is difficult to miss. Western defense officials involved in the project have signaled that the ground-launched variant is exceeding expectations, a reminder that capability can emerge quickly when design goals are tight, interfaces are familiar, and logistics are realistic. The system's nickname, Frankensam, undersells that reality. It is less a stitched-together monster than a pragmatic fusion of mature components shepherded by an urgent operational requirement. The strategic value of such improvisation extends well beyond Ukraine. Allies are watching how a rugged, rapidly fielded SHORAD layer performs under constant stress. Industrial baselines matter as much as raw performance. ASRAAM stocks, launcher modules, wiring harnesses, and vehicle platforms are not exotic boutique items. They can be produced, modified, or refurbished at scale. In an era when missile production lines are straining and replenishment cycles run years, a solution that converts available inventory into credible defense quickly is not just tactically useful, it is politically and economically attractive. That dynamic will inform future procurement debates across Europe and within NATO as militaries reconstitute their air defense networks. None of this makes Raven a silver bullet. The range limitation is real, and countermeasures are plentiful. Cruise missiles can be escorted by decoys, drones can be deployed in mixed formations to soak up interceptors, and electronic warfare can attempt to degrade seeker performance or queuing. Moreover, a system designed to be expendable in parts still relies on steady ammunition flow and resilient maintenance. The calculus of affordability looms. Using air-to-air missiles from the ground is cheaper than expending a medium-range SAM, but not as inexpensive as a gun system or a programmable proximity round. The art is assigning the right effector to the right threat at the right time, a choreography Raven is helping Ukraine refine in live-fire conditions. Integration is the multiplier. The system's mobility and short setup time reduce signature and allow crews to shoot and scoot, but Raven's efficiency ultimately depends on the quality of the sensor picture feeding it. Ukraine's patchwork air defense architecture, civilian spotters, radar nodes, passive detection, and allied intelligence, has become a distributed organism. A mobile launcher with a swift response loop can capitalize on that organism's alerts, swatting a cruise missile as it rises from a river valley or clipping a loitering munition before it finds a transformer yard. Each such intercept removes one more problem from the slate of longer-range batteries, conserving high-value effectors for high-value targets. The political signaling is equally clear. A weapon tailored for Ukraine's immediate needs that subsequently proves its merit under fire is a validation of rapid development models led by operational demand rather than years of peacetime specification. For European capitals debating how to fortify infrastructure against drone and missile harassment, Raven's story is a case study: accept near-term imperfection, leverage existing components, iterate in contact, and distribute defenses. That philosophy does not replace high-end systems, it complements them, building a layered defense that is resilient, flexible, and economically sustainable. As Russia leans on cruise missiles, glide weapons, and one-way attack drones to grind at Ukraine's military and civilian targets, the value proposition of mobile short-range interceptors only grows. Raven's record, claims of downed Kh-59s, a Kh-101, and dozens of drones, should be seen through the appropriate wartime caution, but also through the lens of adaptation. In a conflict defined by improvisation on both sides, the British-built launcher has given Ukrainian crews a tool that rewards fast decision cycles, punishes sloppy low-level approaches, and fills a critical gap without consuming the crown jewels of air defense. That combination of speed, sufficiency, and scale is precisely what modern wars tend to reward.